Welcome to another episode of the Booktroverts podcast. I'm McKayla.
I'm Meg.
And today we're going to be talking all about the books that we've read so far this summer. So June, July, and like halfway through August, a little over halfway. We're going to talk about a little backstory on them, what we thought, our ratings, reviews, and we'll see if we had any that were similar. Do we want to jump into June? Do you want to go first?
All right, so I guess I can go first. So the first one I read in June was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I know you read it way before me and recommended it. It was awesome. I just laughed, cried, was shocked. It was just a different side of the Holocaust that you don't get as often. Movies kind of focus more on the war side or the camps, and this was totally different, which I loved. I would read again. If I could read it where I don't know what's happening and read it again, totally would.
I agree. Yeah. It's one of those books for me. I wish I could erase my memory and reread it for the first time. It is so freaking good. It was also the first Kristen Hanna book that I read. And
Okay.
so when we read Great Alone, I was comparing it to that, but it's so good. I love the dynamic of the two sisters, like how they truly handle the war so differently,
Yeah,
but in the way that is perfect for them and their personalities.
I
It's
completely
just
agree.
so well done. And then the ending just like rips you
Yeah, I cried a lot.
to
I
literal
cried.
smithereens.
I cried so much. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but is it Vianne? Vianne?
Hmm.
It's like Diane, but with a V.
Yeah.
Did you resonate with her or Isabel more out of the two sisters? Isabel was the one
Well,
who did the,
yeah, she's like bringing people across
yeah,
the little border thing.
yeah,
As much as I would like to say I would be an Isabel, I'm a VN. I'm just staying at home, following the orders. I would really hope I wouldn't let the Nazis come live at my house, but like, I am so not confrontational. I feel like I would be her, but she started at in the beginning. You're like, okay, she's really just rolling over, and then she picks up. She gets involved. She starts fighting back in her own way. So
yeah. I
I think I'd
completely
be
agree.
her, but I wish I was Isabel.
I'm gonna copy paste what you just said because that's basically me too. In my notes, I literally said, "Oh, I wish I could be Isabel, but there's no chance right now with my personality that I would do that. I
Yeah,
wish I could."
I did hear a while back too that like back when I read the book, so that was last year, end of last year. I guess there's been talks about a movie being made with
Ooh,
Dakota and Elle Fanning playing the two sisters.
that'd be perfect.
And when I was reading the book, people were like, "Yeah, this movie got announced a while back, but I've heard no updates on it." And I really, really want this to be a movie. I think it would be one, such a powerful movie, but I think it would really do well because so many people love this book so much. I think they get a lot
Yeah,
of people out to the movie theaters to see it. And
I
also,
fully
Elle
agree.
and Dakota, I think, are really great actresses.
Yeah, I'm now trying to picture which one would be what character because I think they both could play it based on how I just think they've done different movies, so I'm trying to
Mhm.
figure out which one would fit each. But honestly, I would love that if they did a movie. I think it would. There'd be a lot of
So
empowerment.
good.
That would be so
Yeah,
cool.
and I don't go to movie theaters, but I think I would have to go see that one
Yeah,
because I love it. And I agree, like 5 stars for me. That's one of those books I don't even feel like a rating scale does it justice
yeah.
because it's so good. I had a friend just rate that 4 stars, and that was like an angry text, like how dare you? 4 stars is still a good rating, and I'm like, how dare you?
You
It's
just
like above a
dishonored
5.
this.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What'd
Um,
you have first?
First of all, I'm looking down because I have my notes on my phone, so that's what's going on. And I'm in a different setup, so that's why my lighting is shit this episode. I feel really bad following the Nightingale with this book because I feel like this is like dishonoring Kristen Hanna's work. We got King of Pride by Anna Huang. Smut. Straight up smut, like mafia smut.
Ooh, a mafia
Um,
one. Tell me more.
so she wrote the Twisted Games series, which I had read all 4 of those. One of the characters in that book, then started this spin-off series, King of Pride. So this is the second one in the King of Pride series. I gave this one 3 stars. This book follows Kai and Isabella's story. And I realized when I was looking up the names, so many authors love to use Kai as a male character name.
Yeah.
Basically, the King of Pride series is about this like Italian mob family almost that lives in Chicago. There's 2 of them, like rival ones. So it's following that type of story. But this is forbidden romance trope. It was a Goodreads nominee for Best Romance Book last year. I enjoyed it. I definitely like her other series better because I haven't continued on with this one. This is the last book. There's, I think, 2 more that are out, and I just
Okay.
haven't gotten to them yet. They're good little palate cleansers, but they're not gripping me where I'm like, oh, I need to jump to the next one to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. No,
But
I
yeah,
get
just
that all
like
the time where you have a
classic
series
smut.
sometimes. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. This guy, he was trying to win a CEO bid, and she is doing her own thing. She's like a socialite, and I don't know, it was like a whole thing. Like her not trying to be a distraction for him getting the CEO. It was very like, there was no, it, compared to the Nightingale, no substance. But sometimes you need those.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need it as a good quick read of,
Yeah.
okay, that's what
Yeah.
I needed today. That's the
So,
vibe.
so honestly, for you specifically, if you were like, should I read it? I would say read Twisted Games. They don't, you haven't read those yet, right?
I haven't, but it's been on my, I don't
They're
want to
on,
say
yeah.
on my to be read list, but it's there potentially.
Yeah. Those are on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay, good to
Those are
know.
really good. And then if you're like really loving those characters, jump into this one. But I don't think this is like a drop everything and download it.
Yeah. I feel like I have a lot of those drop everything and read it ones right now on my TBR list. So
Yeah.
it's if it's making that cut, we're good. But if
Hmm.
not, I'm not
Yeah.
reading it.
It was it was good, not great.
Yeah. Okay. Makes
That's fine.
sense.
What's your next one?
I'm gonna butcher the name of the series, but it's the Binghampton series by Megan Quinn. I know we briefly talked about it in another episode. I think I was in first or 2 or 3, but I read all 4, and I would say an overall 4 stars. The first one was probably the worst out of the entire series, in my
I'm
opinion.
shocked you went to the second one then.
I have this issue where I like the characters and then I just need to know more about their life. And I was glad that I read the last 3 or the rest of the series because that group of people all work together. So the guys all work in construction. So the first was kind of an intro to people in the town. And then once you get past them, it's okay, you're gone. We're now on to this group of friends that I like way more. So I would just say push through the first one because the other 3 are really good. And one of them, I think it was the third, you know me, I just really like a goofy male main, character and
Hmm.
everything. And he was just so entertaining and the banter was pretty fun. So for me, that just gets me. If you have a
Yeah.
goofy character, I'm sold. That's it.
She writes good banter. Is it like small town? Like,
Yeah.
or do they work in like a city?
No, it's a small town. I think a
Hmm.
lot of hers end up being pretty much small town or, you
Yeah,
know,
she's either a small town or they're in the heart of New York City.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
no,
There's no, yeah, no in
there's
between.
no suburbia. It's just small town where everyone knows each other or massive city.
Yeah, where you know no one, and it's just this one person you're clinging on to for your life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. Four
yeah,
stars for the full series.
yeah. So I guess I just gave
Solid.
4 and 1 options. So
Jeez. Okay.
yeah.
Well, my next one is not a 4-in-1 option. It is
All
just
right.
a single book. I like how you have like 5-star, 4-star.
Yeah.
I had a 3-star. Now I'm giving you a 2-star option.
Oh my God, I love this. All right.
June sucked the beginning for me. Like this is the story of this year for me. I my picker is off. I'm either killing it and it's a fantastic read or it is just not good.
Yeah,
Or just
you just
average.
been
Like
off. Yeah.
yeah, it's either like unbelievable fantastic or just average. I can't get that sweet spot of it was a really good book.
Yeah.
So, my second one was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I knew her name from the It Girl because I feel like everyone's read that book. I can just always see that yellow cover in my head. But this one must have been, I think it was available on Libby or something. That must be why I downloaded this one. But it's basically about this travel journalist who gets invited to go on this new luxury cruise ship for
Ooh.
free so she could write a piece about it. And the ship only holds either 10 or 11 cabins, but I think it's 10. It's very, almost gave like yacht vibes.
Okay,
And
that's kind of what I was thinking, visualizing as
yeah,
you're saying it.
and it's like super luxurious. I think it goes to like the Iceland or something. Like it goes to like really unique places. I would say more yacht vibes in the sense that they all meet at a certain time to eat dinner together. They do all the activities
Cool.
together. It's not, choose your own adventure like a normal cruise. The
Yeah.
cruise aspect is what got me because I love a cruise. So I was like, thriller, book, cruise
Sold.
has my name on it. This woman, she's in her cabin. She ends up seeing she needs something. So she knocks on the girl next door. She's in cabin 9. This girl's in cabin 10. There's a woman in cabin 10. She thinks she hears something a couple hours later, whatever, and notices blood on the balcony. And so she's like, someone has been killed, or like something has happened to the woman in the cabin next to me.
Yeah.
And she basically goes on this big hunt because everyone's like, there was that cabin was empty. No one was staying there. And she's met everyone at this point, and there's no one that's missing. And
Interesting.
so that's just like setting up the first chapter of the book is like what happens. The book follows her trying to figure out who was this person that she thinks has been hurt because knows she saw something, and then everyone trying to convince her that nothing's going on. Honestly, I like the concept, but it was lackluster. I want a thriller that I'm like want to stay up all night reading. I want it to keep me on my toes. I want it to be a ton of suspects where like I'm guessing, I'm trying to figure out like
Yeah.
I'm playing detective, and I didn't get that from this. It was just like the book's happening, I'm reading it, but I'm not like super invested. And then honestly the way it ended like didn't love.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
So,
does ruin it if you have a meh
yeah,
ending.
and it sucks because it was my first book by her, and I was so underwhelmed by it that now I'm like, do I want to pick up something from her? Is this her
Right.
writing style? I mean, I try and give everyone at least two chances because sometimes it's just not a hit. You didn't
Yeah.
pick the right one, but I don't know. I would not recommend, honestly. I don't
Okay.
think you would love it.
Probably not. I would honestly just text me the cliff notes. It's kind of what I would need for the ending, and I'd be
Yeah.
good.
hmm Yeah. I don't know why I didn't DNF it if I'm giving it a 2 stars. I must have just been so desperate. I
Just
just
wanted to
can't
get
go
through
through,
it.
I can't go through the journey of finding another book.
Give me one more day of not having to find a different book.
Yeah. All right. What's your third one?
All right, I guess we're gonna stick with Megan Quinn here. I have So This Is War. So that was the latest release. I mean, we're gonna have one in a couple of days. So once this is released, it'll probably be after. But I gave it 5 stars. So I guess I'm sticking with the 5 and 4 star range
So
here.
June was
So
good for you.
June was reasonable. Yeah. This one was amazing. The banter was awesome. I don't know. I ended up buying the entire series paperback because I just fell in love even more. It's now just on the bookcase, and I actually would say this is probably my favorite of hers. I think it got the number one spot. I don't know.
Of like all timer for the series.
I think all time because it was just so
Oh,
good. I know that's a
wow.
big hot take right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I also read that book, but it's on my July list. It was the first one I
Okay.
read in July, so I guess I can jump to that since we're
Yeah.
on it. Also gave it 5 stars. And in my notes I wrote obsessed. And then I said the banter was honestly next level, and I was kicking my feet and giggling reading this. She really made us love Posey. Honestly, the thing that I loved most was, like you said, banter, fantastic. Them
Yeah.
going back and forth. They were so different from some of her other couples. Like
Yes.
the whole aspect of the sex clubs.
I
What?
felt so educational in this book. I learned so much.
So much. But like
Yeah.
she was so into it.
Yeah.
They were like perfect match. And in the beginning of the series, Posey, you're like, oh, he's just like obsessed with baloney. That's the only thing he brings to the table. It was such a personality trait of his. So
Yeah.
I honestly, at the beginning, I could care less if he had a book. Then as the series went on, I felt like I started to like him more.
Yeah.
And by the time I got to this book, I felt ready for it. And then I left the book and I was like, she did her job. she made him so likable. And Bologna was
100%.
in there, but it wasn't a main plot point.
It wasn't the whole book. Which if you were going, say, from book one in the series, I probably would have expected Bologna to be pretty much the wedding cakes. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I said if
Yeah,
this
like I
kid
thought they
gets
were
a
gonna
love
do like
story,
weird.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be like weird kinky stuff with the bologna. I don't know. That's what I was thinking, and it was
yeah,
so not what I was expecting, but it was so good. I like was laughing out loud reading the book. She's the
yeah,
queen of just funny conversation in her books, like,
yeah,
audibly laughing. Now, I did make a note. And I said, so curious to see if there is a sixth book or if she uses the potential trade that's mentioned at the end to start a new hockey series around another team, which I think would be smart for her. OC is the only other character really that she's introduced us to on this
yeah.
team. So if she was to continue with this series, she would have to keep introducing new players every book.
I agree.
Where if OC takes the trade to, was it San Francisco, I think?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
If he takes the trade, that we get his story, but then you can introduce a whole new team of players and that could build
Agreed.
a whole new series. So I'm just thinking like business wise,
Yeah,
launching a new series and having them connect into each other, I think would be smart. Now she's giving nothing away because every time she posts, I comment on her TikTok and I say, are we getting a new series? She doesn't comment. She just like gives the eye emoji, like, give me something.
yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm leaning towards because she's being very coy about it and she could easily just shut it down. But
yeah.
I don't know.
So, two thoughts on this. One, I think the trade will be a great opportunity because for two reasons. Pacey, who was, I think, the first book, is pretty
Hmm.
much at retirement
He's
age.
retiring.
So if you think about it, all the guys, they're now coupled up. They're all pretty much getting to the point where they're ready to retire. So you're going to have a new group anyways. And then second point to this, in the baseball series, there was a trade and we get new people. And yes, I know she kept it as one series and it was maybe 9 books together, which she could
Mhm.
technically do with this one. But because it's the Agitator series and that's the team, I think it would be nice to shift it and have a second hockey series
Yeah, because
that
in the
is,
baseball,
ooh, yeah,
yeah, the baseball is Brentwood because of
yeah,
the college, not
right,
because you go play for two different MLB teams.
exactly.
I don't know, like selfishly, I mean, she definitely has said like OC is the next book. So there
Yeah.
is another book coming. She just won't say if it's going to be under the agitators or this new series. I just feel like you went through that effort of dropping those Easter eggs. The whole epilogue was talking about this potential trade.
That was all it was about.
It just seems natural and
Yeah.
like people love her hockey series. Why not write another one?
Yeah. I fully agree because she could make this into, yeah, you could do another 5 books and just do 5 and 5, and there you go. And then you're done. And you know what I mean? Or if she wants to continue, I will not be opposed because I would continue reading. But you could totally just end it with another 5 from a different team. And the nice thing is, you still have that connection with the
Hmm.
players from the agitator ones where, like she does with all her series, for anyone who's read Megan Quinn books, is they all connect at some point and you'll get a random person that's, oh, they live in this town and I met them at this convention or something, and
Hmm.
then you know exactly, oh, if I read that book I probably would know their whole life story because it's their
Yeah.
love story. So I think
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
the
lot of
thing.
opportunity.
Yeah, and if she does the new series based off the trade, she could have a whole thing where one of their first games is playing the agitators and seeing the old players to give
Yes.
people that warm and fuzzy of seeing their favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I personally, selfishly, want it to be a new series because
Fully
then that
agree.
guarantees 5 more books.
Yeah.
If it's part of agitators, I feel like this would either be the last or we'd get like one more.
Yeah, I agree because of how many new people could you include? Is it now the originals get replaced and it's kind
Yeah,
of
they'd
the
have to retire them
2.0?
off.
Yeah. Cuz I mean if you think about it, yeah, you have multiple lines on a hockey team, but we're focusing on
Yeah.
the main one, of course, you know. It's
Yeah. And I think I was telling you about that series I read like back in college, Nashville Assassins by Tony Aleo.
yeah.
That's how she did it. The first 5 books are the core guys. Actually, now when you go look at her series on Amazon to look it up, it's assassins, and then when the team, basically new people start coming on the team because the original players start retiring, she's actually reworked it to call that part of the series Assassin's Next Generation to separate
Oh,
the
I
two.
like that.
But that's how she was able to keep the series going, which was like 10 or 12 books, something like that.
Yeah.
So you still got like, the team feel, but it was different because some of the people worked in the office. There was still like those connections. So she'd have to
Yeah.
get a little creative, but I don't know. I just selfishly want a new one.
Yeah, either way, I'm here for it. It's not like I'm
So
jumping
good.
off the train at any point. I am fully fledged
Yeah.
into this entire
Yeah. I actually had
series.
someone, I did a TikTok video ranking, because I think I've read almost like 50% of her books.
Yeah.
And I had ranked the series I read and like where they are compared to each other. And I had someone comment asking what reading order they should read her series in. And I couldn't even give an answer because trying to remember which characters come up in which books, whatever. But I
Yeah.
just wrote back and I said, honestly, if I had to give you a starting point, I would say just start with the Kane brothers. I feel like they pop up in the most books because that is the series that like really she started gaining traction and people know her for. So I think that's why
Yeah.
she puts that like they pop up a lot in the newer stuff,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't even know. I want someone to like map out the Megan Quinn universe and like how they all connect and like optimal reading order like they do for Marvel movies.
I fully agree. And I support this. So if there's someone
Mhm.
out there who has created that, please send the link
Yeah. I don't have the
because I
time to
need
do that
it.
work, but it would be so interesting
Yeah. That'd be
to
so
see.
cool.
Yeah. But since I jumped in on yours,
Yeah.
I'll throw it back to you again.
Okay. So I guess we'll go with the last one, and maybe this is good to end on this one because this is the last in June, but was When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, which we have a pod on this, so I don't want to go too far into it because the whole podcast goes into that entire book. I gave it 3 stars. I probably was more like a 2.75 if we're getting really granular there. Not my favorite. I can see the vibe and what people like about it. I just really hope the rest of the series ends up being better and that they close a bunch of the loops, that they had.
Obviously had this one on my list too, and I
Yeah.
gave it 2.5 stars. And if you listen to the episode, which is episode 4, if you have not listened or watched it, you know I hated the glossary in that book.
Yes.
So I won't like go into my thoughts here because I had not many thoughts, many questions and things I just completely missed. But I will say we posted some clips from the episode on TikTok. And if you haven't read it yet and you're going to read it on a Kindle, people were saying you can use the bookmark feature on your Kindle to easily jump between the glossary and maps and the page you're on so you don't have to remember the location code like we were doing. Someone else also said open the app on your phone because the maps will be in color. And then what was the other one? There was something about the highlighting feature. Oh, they said use the search feature in Kindle. And so, like, if a term comes up that you don't know, to like physically type it in the search bar and it would bring you back to the glossary. So, those are my 3 tips that we got from people on TikTok, which I wish I knew about.
I wish I knew about it too because it was tough. Is all I'll
Hmm.
say. You can listen to the rest of the pod that we when we go fully into that. But I
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that people gave me tips and tricks because I'll use that
Mhm.
going forward for other
Yeah.
books.
And people agreed with us
Yeah.
that it's a really hard to read that one on
Yeah.
Kindle, but also I've been seeing so many videos of people going to Barnes and Noble, doing whatever book hauls, picking that book up. Thank God I had never seen what the physical copy of that book looks like because I would have been like, no, we're not reading this. It is a thick book.
Is it?
Obviously, oh my God, Meg, it looks like the size of Kingdom of Ash.
Oh my god.
Like thick, like this thick.
Oh, I would have
Look
been
it
in a
up.
panic.
Look it up. Obviously, after we read it, I think we said it was like 750 pages or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if like maybe it's shorter in paper. I haven't seen it in person. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's short and stumpy, and that's why it is so thick. I I don't know how. Thank God we didn't see it ahead of time.
That's
So I'm
basically the
impressed that
Lord
we
of the
read it.
Rings.
Yes, it looks like that. It looks like that. Like or like one of like the last books in Harry Potter.
Yes.
She chunky. But yeah, episode 4 has all of our thoughts on When the Moon Hatched.
Yeah.
I had two more for June.
Then go right ahead
If you
because
want
that
me
was
to
it
run
for
through
me.
them. Okay.
Yeah, please do.
Um, okay. Sorry, again, I'm just looking down at my notes. So I have The Inmate by Frida McFadden. I gave this one 3 stars. Honestly, I really love the Housemaid series by her. And I did like The Teacher, which I know can be controversial. But everything else is pretty much a 3 star for me. I go in not really expecting, like, oh my God, wow. They are just really good, quick thriller reads that will get you out of any type of reading slump because you can finish them in one sitting. Uh, I think I said this on a previous episode. Like, she writes
Yeah,
them for people coming out of brain injury. So they're written to be easily understood, things like that.
yeah. That is so cool. I know I
But
said it and think on the last pod. That's awesome.
yeah, it's really interesting that she also has this whole other really cool job she does, and then she writes on the side.
Yeah.
So, this book, if you're interested, I actually think you might like this one, but it's a palate cleanser. Like, don't go in expecting anything crazy. It's about this girl, Brooke. She's a doctor and she gets hired to work at this prison. But no one knows that one of the inmates at this prison, Shane, is in jail because of Brooke.
Ooh.
So they used to date when they were in high school, and she claims that he tried to strangle her to death and killed some of their other friends. And she testified this, and then he got sent to jail. So she's the reason why he is in there. She's not supposed to have any connection to the inmate. She has not seen him since that court date. And now she's working with him.
That is so cool.
And that is all I will say for that. It has some twists and turns. The ending was a little like, I felt like I got played with, but I liked it. 3 stars, solid read,
Yeah.
quick, very quick. And then my second one I read, more Megan Quinn, because we are the Megan Quinn fan podcast. We should have named ourselves this.
We
The
really should
Quinnies.
have. Yeah, the Quinnies.
The Quinnies. I read Bridesmaid for Hire, which I thought you hadn't read, but then you told me you read it just way before me. I gave that one 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
Literally loved that one. We're recording this on August 16th. So the second one is not out yet. It comes out on August 20th, and I will be downloading it the second it's available because I
Yep.
cannot wait. I've been itching for like a good series by her because the other one is the Almond Bay one where I did not like the first one. I liked the second one. So I feel like, okay, this is a series where like I really love the first one. So I'm feeling good about this. But yeah, follows, if anyone hasn't read it, it follows Maggie, who's an event planner. She is taking a much needed vacation at this stunning resort in
Stunning.
Bora Bora. But she obviously is like a workaholic and can't turn her brain off. So she hears that this like big hotel owner that she really wants to get connected with, his daughter is getting married at the resort. And it just so happens they end up needing a wedding planner. So she's like, I'm going to get myself into this wedding. While trying to do all this, she runs into her brother's best friend who is named Brody. I had to write
I
the
almost
names down
said
because I will
Cody.
no, I can never remember character names. Like I
I'm
literally finished a
horrible.
book. I finished a book this morning. I had to look up the names. Like I can't. They just always leave my brain.
It's fine. I'm with you. I did the same exact thing. My notes, the names are like more importantly focused.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, the names. I can't remember the names. I can remember the
Never.
plot points. I can't remember the names. So her brother's best friend, Brody, who she absolutely hates, she
Yeah.
runs into him at this resort. Well, turns out Brody works for this hotel guy. And Brody is trying to get this big project approved by this CEO. So now they have to fake date to both get ahead. She's trying to get the wedding business. He's trying to get this like big promotion, and all hell breaks loose. I absolutely love this book. Honestly, it gave me Just Go With It vibes. Have you seen that movie with Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah. I
It just reminded me of
love
that.
that.
It just reminded me of that, like all the little like activities they have to do with the wedding party.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I cannot wait for the next one.
It
I'm
was so
itching.
good. It was so good. I actually am tempted, and I know we're getting ahead because of we'll talk about August at the end, but I'm purposely leaving this out because I haven't started it yet. But I'm almost tempted to not start the tandem read until after this book comes out on the 20th because I'm going to end up having to pause to read it in the meantime because
Let's
I'm not
see.
going to be able to let it go.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tandem read in 3 days. You could probably tandem read in like 5 days, but not 3 days.
I don't think I'm going to be able
And
to
at
3
the end of
days.
3 days, you'd probably be at like some pretty good parts, at least in Empire of Storms. So
Right.
I don't think you'll want to stop.
Yeah. I think I'll have to.
I think you need to find some palate cleansers in
I
between.
have a few. I have a few summer reads, I guess. They're more focused on the beach, so it's probably the better time to read them is now before it starts to get cold.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do that and then wait and
Okay.
then finish out August with Throne of Glass.
Throne of Glass. Okay. I'll do
I'm
that.
so excited though. I cannot wait. And I heard I do have on my TBR list Paradise Problems by Christina Lauren. It has like that
Ooh.
like you definitely have seen it on TikTok. It's like that green leafy pattern on the cover. It's their
Yep.
new release, which I want to read, but then I heard someone say the storyline is so similar to Bridesmaid for Hire.
Really?
So obviously I have to do, research, see which one's better, but it'll be
Compare?
Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be Megan, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the rest of my June
Okay.
ones. Honestly, slow month for me, 5 books. It's
Yeah,
because
it was
when the
just
moon hatch took all my time.
yeah, I agree. It was a slow month. I mean, I read technically a decent amount of books compared to what I typically read, but I didn't feel as if I read a lot, if that makes any sense at all. It was just kind
Yeah.
of, all right, we're here for it.
Yeah, and honestly, looking at my ratings, outside of Bridesmaid for Hire, it was such a pathetic month. Twos and threes
Yeah, you didn't have
sucked.
a good
It
didn't
just
have a
was
good
not
June.
good. It was not good.
No.
All right. Well, what did you have for July?
All right. So first up, I had Love Unwritten. It's the second book in a series. It's by Lauren Asher. I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought it was really cute. I liked it. I weirdly love the grumpy guy with the upbeat girl trope for sure. I will say that I think some part of their backstories and their upbringing could be triggering or make some people relive stuff that has happened to them. I don't want to get too far into it because obviously that's like the whole part of the book. But for me, it was a very cute read. I do think I like the first one a lot more. So I'm curious how the third one's going to be down
Is
the
this a
line.
sequel to Love Redesigned?
Yes. Yep.
So I actually just downloaded that. Well, I had it on my Kindle, but like I finally like downloaded it,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Today, and I read the first chapter. But then I was like, "Oh, am I feeling this? Should I pick something else up?"
Yeah.
Be- and then, so what did you think? Did you like the first one?
I did. I did like the first one a lot.
Do you think I would like the first one?
I think so. This is the same author who wrote the series that was, I'm gonna butcher it. It's pretty much the non Disney version of the book.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will
Dreamland
say
Billionaires.
thank you, Dreamland. I was trying to figure out what it was, and I just kept saying Disneyland in my head. The writing style obviously is same author, of course, but in terms of the stories, it's not. You do have the rich people. It seems that there's always one person who has a lot of money, but this one they have really cool backstories, and they all come from different, I don't want to say different areas, but it's pretty cool. I really liked it. But I definitely think the Dreamland series was way better. So
Okay. These ones are longer too. I think these books are like 600 pages.
yeah,
The Dreamland ones are not that long.
I was gonna say the second one, there were parts that were a little bit slow, and not the sense that it was boring. It just there was enough detail that I think if it was cut out, it could have gone a little bit faster. It would have been a nicer read. I
That's
don't
what I've
know.
heard about I heard
Yeah.
about the second one. Like people definitely rated it lower than they did the first one.
Yeah, that same thing with me. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's a cute love story and you get something different, then I fully say go for it. I would say I would give this a maybe if I'm doing that. Is
Okay.
but if you're in a slump, I probably wouldn't. I would go for something a little more powerful that you know you're going to like. So,
Yeah. I'm only one chapter in on the first one. And then
okay.
I was like, oh, this is a long book.
Yeah.
Should I pick something quicker? But we'll see. We'll see where I
Yeah.
land.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, I will. So my first book was for July was So This Is War, but we already talked about that.
Okay.
So my second one was Fifth Avenue Glamour Girl by Renee Rosen.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know how I found this book. I think I saw it like in a Facebook group I'm in. Someone was talking about a different release she had, and I looked that one up, and the Libby wait was forever. And this one was like a quicker wait, and I put it in for Libby. I think that's how I ended up finding this author because I couldn't even tell you. I gave this one 3 stars. It's, I would say the genre would be historical fiction. It follows the story and life of Estee Lauder and how
Okay.
she has built her huge makeup empire, which I like that type of stuff. I like beauty stuff. That was interesting to me. It's set in New York City in like the 30s to 50s. And there's a little bit of Florida in there. It was cool to see. It was uncommon for women to start their own business back then.
Yeah.
And she was such a go getter and literally took no shit, never took no. Like, and it was so interesting to see how society reacted to her. But the reason why I gave it 3 stars, it was very slow,
Okay.
kind of to be expected. You're just following someone's life. So, like, if nothing really dramatic happened in her life,
Yeah.
so, they have to work with what they have. But it's also told from the perspective of her friend, which I don't even know if
Oh.
this friend existed in real life or is this like the fiction part of it to kind of give a different angle. I couldn't figure that out. But yeah, it's told from the perspective of her friend. And you get a lot of backstory and you follow this friend through her life. And I'm like, you're nice, but I really don't care about you. I wish it was told from the perspective of Estee.
Yeah.
And so that's why I gave it 3 stars.
Makes sense.
It's just not the approach I would have taken. It was good though. Maybe I would read something else from her, but I'm not like jumping up and down. Can't wait
Yeah.
to pick something else up.
Yeah.
That's my thought. What's your
Interesting.
next one? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump around only because I have basically Throne of Glass as most of July, so I'll do one that isn't just because it's easier. But we had Darling Girls as one of ours for July, and that was by Sally Hepworth, and I gave it 3 stars. I know we talk about that a lot more on the pod, so I don't want to go too far into it, but good. Not really a thriller. It was a fast read. Got it
Hmm.
done in a day.
Yeah,
That was
you read
pretty
it
much it.
quick.
I mean, I also was out of work that day, so I think it was just kind of, I don't have anything to do. Let me just read the whole day. And it
Mm.
worked
I
out.
love
So,
a I love a book that has short chapters. It's nothing I love more
me
than
too.
new chapter and it says like 2 minutes left.
Agreed.
I love that because then you're like, oh, I can read one more.
Yeah.
And then you get stuck. You just keep saying that over and over until you finish the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, obviously I have that one on my list as well. Three
Yeah.
stars. It was our August book club pick, so we did change the schedule this month. So that video is already up. You can watch that with our thoughts. We break it down.
Yeah.
Agree. I wouldn't have classified it as a thriller, and that is kind of the consensus I'm seeing online with people who have read it. That it's hard because it's in like the thriller and mysteries category. So I think it would
Yeah.
fall under a mystery, but then she blatantly puts on the cover a thriller is
Yeah.
written on the cover. So that's where I think people are having issue with it. I think it's a mystery.
Agreed. Fully agree on
That's
that
my
one.
thought.
Yeah.
So, Darling Girls, watch the last episode for that one. I have 2 more for July if we want to touch on that.
Yeah.
So, this one I really want you to read.
Okay.
Okay. This might actually be perfect for your palate cleanser while you wait for Megan Quinn.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell me more.
please. Actually, yes, download this. Okay. It's called the Mindfuck series. It's
Wait, I
by
saw you read this.
Yes, it's by S.T. Abbey. Now, when everyone talks about it, they just show like the one cover that has like an apple with needles poking in.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's one book. That is all 5 of the books put into one. So it's 5 books. They
Oh.
are all under 150 pages. You will blow through them,
Oh, perfect.
but it counts as 5 books for your Goodreads goal. But they're
That's
short.
my type of book.
They are all on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, everyone was like, "This is such a dark story." So I had no clue what it was. I had never read a synopsis. I just saw people talking like, "This one's really dark." Like, I don't know if I want to read it. So nervous to read it.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be nervous. Okay. So going in, I was like, okay, I didn't read anything. Went in blind. I just downloaded it. I was like, everyone talks about this freaking book. I'm pulling the band-aid off. I love these books.
Okay.
Oh my God. And I literally wanted to text you right after I read these to be like, Meg, download these. But I knew we were doing this podcast episode. So I was like, I'll save it for the podcast. I took a lot of restraint. Basically, the books, I'm just going to talk about them like as a whole. The books follow this serial killer named Lana who ends up like she's at like a coffee shop or something. It's literally the first 5 pages of the first book. And this guy starts to hit on her or tries to like buy her drink or whatever. And she's like, okay, I'm like not interested. And then his friend comes over and is like, sorry about that, whatever. And she instantly feels attracted to him. Turns out this guy is the FBI agent who's investigating all of the murders that she's done.
Oh, yes. All right. I'm gonna
Okay.
download them after this.
And they, start texting, they start a relationship. So she is dating the FBI agent that is investigating her. And he has no clue. And
Yep.
he's like high up in the FBI. He is the guy. Like he's a good agent.
Yeah.
And it is so freaking good. I You'll see. I was in like a serial killer like mode in July. I don't know. After I read this book, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm obsessed." I will
So
not spoil anything else, but I will just say the way the books wrap up, perfect. No notes.
okay. All right.
And obviously some of the books were better than others, but overall, I gave it 4 star. 4 star series. Very solid. Obviously, like they're short, so I can't give it
Yeah.
5 because I wanted more, but they were so good.
Ooh. Okay. Now I'm really excited
I really
because
think you would like them.
yeah, because I was trying to put off the tandem raid and, but also waiting for Megan Quinn. It's been a weird time of do I just not do any reading for the next couple days? But I can't do that. I'd be bored.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
it's not scary. I was not scared because they obviously detail like what she's doing and like how she sets up her kills and stuff like that. Some of
Yeah.
it's a little grotesque what she does, but I was never scared. I was like edge of my seat like, "Oh my god, is he going to find her? What's going to happen?" Like I couldn't. It was too much for me.
That cat and mouse type vibe where you're just
Yes.
waiting and
It's so that and it was one of those things the second I finished the book, I was like, "Read now." I wasn't even going to the Kindle store. You know when the screen pops up to rate it and it gives you the next book? I was
yeah.
downloading it from there. I was like, "Give it to me now." I couldn't.
So I'm guessing I should just download all of
Download all
them.
fast.
And that way I
Yeah.
can
Well,
just done next, done next.
especially one of the books is like 78 pages. They're really
Oh.
quick.
Oh, that's
I think
nice. Okay.
I finished all 5 in like a day
Oh,
because I
perfect.
could not put them down. They're so good. I'm so glad we figured this out for you. I
I
think you'll
love
really
it.
like it, and I'll be so sad if you don't. Oh, I'll be so sad because I've been holding this since July. And then I continued my serial killer kick with Butcher and Blackbird
Oh, how was that?
by Bryn Weaver. It was good. I gave it 3 stars. It was good. Honestly, did not like the Mind F series was so much better, but this one follows again serial killers. So they're both serial killers in this,
Ooh.
and they end up meeting because they were trying to like kill the same person. And instant attraction, but they live in separate areas, they're doing their own thing, whatever. They make this pact that they're going to meet up one weekend every year. And the guy, Rowan, his brother also is kind of in like a kind of shady business. So he's like, my brother will find us a target. Oh, and they're serial killers who kill other serial killers. They don't kill innocent people. They
Oh.
target other serial killers. That's important to know here.
Okay.
And so Rowan's brother will find them a target. He doesn't tell them the target. He just sends them to a location, and they, based off context clues, they have to try and figure out who is the serial killer in the location. And it's a competition. They're supposed to do it for 5 years, and whoever gets the most kills, like 3 out of the 5 kills, they have this common target, this guy that they both want to get, but he's super elusive. Like no one can figure out who he is. They decide whoever wins this competition, they get dibs to kill this guy that they've been trying to hunt down forever. So that's like the premise of it. But so the story goes over, I think it's over the course of 4 years. And you see them like develop a friendship and then like
Yeah.
relationships, feelings. It was really good, but nothing super wowing about it. I'll read the second one, but it wasn't something where I was going to rush out and pay for the second one. So I put a Libby request in, but
Okay.
the banter is really funny between them.
Oh, good to know. That actually sounds really good for just a in between series type read.
Yeah, I would say if it's something that you can get a copy at the library or it comes across your desk, or if it goes on Kindle Unlimited, pick it up. I think you would like it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something I'd pay like $14 for.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
But it was good. And that concluded my serial killer kick because then we went into Darling Girls, which was not serial killers. But my highlights was So This Is War and the Mindfuck series. That was so freaking good.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't read the Mindfuck series, but I will definitely say the So This Is War was probably my highlight. And then I would even say Nightingale. Probably those two for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're at a little over like 50 minutes on the recording. And I have one more book for July and I have a bunch for August. I know you have Throne of Glass. So do we want to cut it here and do a part two and leave the people wanting more?
I think so, especially because Throne
Okay.
of Glass could probably take us a while to get through based on my thoughts and
Yeah.
comments. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess, stay tuned for part two. Thank you for listening to us as far as you have. For more things, Booktovert, see updates on book club episodes, anything that we discussed today already, anything on Instagram or TikTok. Follow us at Booktoverts Pod. Leave a rating, review, and some book recommendations. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But stay tuned for part two. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.